Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Good morning, good morning. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I am so glad you're joining me this morning. One more day closer to Christmas morning. We are. I hope you're ready. It's not exactly feeling like Christmas weather here in northern Colorado. I wore a jacket today. Or yesterday out there this morning, it's beautiful. I'm like, no jacket. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. You know me. I'm all about the warm weather. I'm all about the sunshine. But, I was talking to somebody today and we were talking about how it's like, yeah, we don't really want the snow to stay, but there is something magical about Christmas morning and snow on Christmas morning and snow throughout Christmas Day. I mean, I'm not high maintenance at all, am I? Here I am always complaining about cold and the winter coming and everything. And then, yeah, but I would like a little bit of snow for Christmas morning, but then I want the next morning it to be gone. It's not too much, is it? Is that too much? Is that too much to ask? But that's precisely what I'd like to order. Snow on Christmas and then gone on Boxing Day, or the day after Christmas, as we say here in the United States. Anyway, I'm getting excited. I have some things that, for my kids that I think they're going to be very happy about. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about cooking and our Christmas dinner together and all of that stuff. So I hope you are too. I have a great show for you today. I want to talk about this. I told you yesterday that, this whole TPUSA stuff and just like the production of it and like the fakeness of it, like the production, the orchestration, this person's talking, this part, like it seems like to me we have traded Hollywood for politics. Like it was exposed that Hollywood is kind of weird. It's like all this pedophile stuff and like who knows what's true, what isn't. Epstein, maybe celebrities were involved in that. I don't know. Like something's not right, clearly. All the cult Hollywood stuff has been exposed. Most people understand that, there's enough actors that have been caught and exposed for their, deviant behavior or I don't know, whatever it is. Most people know something's going on in Hollywood. But I feel like we've exchanged kind of the Hollywood glamour, the Hollywood influence now for politics. And just like Hollywood was manipulated and, these actors were kind of used almost as double agents to persuade people, to influence people. We just have a whole new category of that now. It's politics, but it's also influencers, which like I don't even like that word. I don't even like the word influencer, right? Like I'm an influencer. Okay, like what exactly do you do? What exactly do you do? I don't know. You influence, okay? And you influence on the basis of like who pays you to influence. And, are you reading a script when you influence? Because it sure seems like it, I don't read any scripts. I prepare for this show just like, that's an interesting thought. I think I'll talk about that on my show as I'm making my way through the world because it's a crazy place out here. And there's no lack of things to ponder or talk about, is there? Like what's going on over here? I'm just trying to figure this out. And just so happens I'm one of those people that's just got like healthy skepticism about things. Maybe my experiences in life have provided me that skill set where I'm always kind of looking, what else could be going on here? And so there's no shortage of content, So I don't know. A lot of people just get handed a script, I guess, is what I'm learning. And, they have a very specific topic that they're going to hammer on repetition. And they get paid to do that for politicians, for, I think, even like tech people, like any billionaire that wants like people to like them. I feel like they can pay an influencer to cover them consistently. And, it's like a PR type of strategy. And it's weird. And I think we're all onto it. And we all kind of are like, oh, I see. That's how it works. Because, years and years ago, we would get presented with newspaper articles or, things would be strategically placed in TV shows or movies or, on radio. And, it wasn't so in your face. You'd see it here. You'd see it there. You'd be like, okay, but now we're taking in information at such an incredibly rapid rate that it's starting to stand out, right? It's starting to stand out like, hey man, why are you trying to where'd this person come from and why am I supposed to be loving them? Like where'd they come from? Do you ever find yourself asking that? Cause like I had no idea and I'm not really picking on anybody here, but like who's JD Vance? because I didn't know who J.D. Vance was. And then come to find out he had a whole movie made on him, Hillbilly Elegy and, a book. And then, like, this seems like crafted. Doesn't it seem crafted? It seems crafted to me. It's just like, when Fauci, who knew who Fauci was, really, before COVID? Most people didn't, unless you were on to the health scam. You really didn't know who Fauci was until COVID. And then all of a sudden, Fauci's got a book and, they're making a movie about him. And you're like, what the heck? Who's this guy? Like, what? What is this? And they just do it on repeat. Peter Hotez. I never heard of Peter Hotez before COVID. Now all of a sudden he's a crazy little bow tie wearing scientist. He's a happy little fella. No, he isn't. These are all like, I don't know how dumb they think we are. But at this point, it's insulting my intelligence, as my 5th grade teacher used to say, Mr. Lynham. Do not insult my intelligence. I loved Mr. Lynham. Anyway, that's what it feels like is going on here. It's like, this is just so stupid. These people, these influencers kind of pop out of nowhere. And then, during TPUSA, there was some commentary. There was some commentary outside of TPUSA, especially after Ben Shapiro spoke. And I couldn't help but I couldn't ignore it because I'm like, yeah, thank you for saying the quiet part out loud. And the quiet part out loud was that, in Ben Shapiro's case, allegedly, I want to say allegedly because I hear Mr. Shapiro is quite the litigious type. So I want to say allegedly, Mr. Shapiro has, I guess, paid for a lot of influence, paid for people to applaud in crowds, paid to be on stages in certain places, talking about certain things, kind of paid his way. And even more so, I guess even his daddy has written some, flattering articles. Anyway, it's not organic, I guess is what you could say. And then, so when you hear this and you kind of get inside these circles, just even a little peek inside these circles, you start to understand how this all works. And you're like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. It's paying for positioning. And some of these people will dump a ton of money into anyone who they think can amass a following so that they can use them to distribute their message. And Owen Benjamin, I don't know if you know who he is, but he's a comedian. He was in a couple movies and stuff. Like, he's really like doing well with stand-up and movies and all that stuff. But Owen has a problem with the truth. He can't not say it, which is a lot of comedians are like that, I find. So I always found him, pretty interesting. And once he started finding out the truth, well, then things built up against Owen. And he was, labeled crazy and kind of outcast and lost a lot. But lost, I put in parentheses, like in quotes here, he lost a lot. No, he actually gained a life, a real life. He left Hollywood and built a beautiful life for himself now and still does comedy and all of that. But I just found his insights here something that I wanted to share today. So I'll share the first clip with you before we go to break. I think we have time. And then we'll talk about it. This is Owen Benjamin. Take a listen.
Doing a script, because that's what a script is. A script is just a pre-written algorithm. That's why a lot of these people I can't listen to, because I already know what they're going to say. It's like, this is the algorithm. Like, I get it. I'm a classical piano player, so it's like, I know the song you play every day. The reason people are like, I can't wait to tune into Candace Owens is because you don't really know what she's going to do. And the fact that she'll do them every day, it shows that, like, there isn't a lot of prep, and she's constantly pivoting. You can't fake that. Could she be wrong? Yes, of course. But, like, you can't fake that. It's just like people are terrified because they're like, that's a real person talking. And if you control the markets, if your job is manipulation of perception, because all the economy is perception. That's it. A dollar is perception. It's actually made out of cotton. We're all cotton pickers, guys. It's literally a joke. One reason why my predictions have been so good and I became like kind of a truther voice is because the history's written like a comedian would write a script. It's like, oh, the slaves pick cotton. Look up what a dollar is made out of. That's the joke. We do anything for the cotton. We pick cotton, and it's not even our cotton. Like, you know, the slaves got better food in quarters. You know, it's like they mastered the slave trade. Slave trade is all about perception. Slavery did not end. Like, of course not. But it's also a choice. Like, to be a slave or to be a slave master is only perception. It's only choice. You pick cotton right now, and now your slave master doesn't have to provide for you a home. That being said, it's because of you anyway. Like, you're choosing it. Every time you covet something or you have envy or...
I love this little talk he did here. There's a few things that stood out. First of all, did you know that money was made out of cotton and linen? I didn't. I mean, when you touch money, you're like, oh, that doesn't really feel like paper. But no, I did. I looked it up because that was a quite curious comment to me. It's made out of cotton and linen. And this is just a really profound point he's making here. And I talked about this, I think, last week on the Naturally Inspired Moment when I talked about self-imprisonment, that we build these invisible walls for ourselves. Very interesting. I'm glad I'm not the only one that kind of thinks this way. Stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired Radio, and we'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
I want to remind you that awesome collagen, my favorite collagen, is still buy one, get one. I don't know how long it's going to last. It's going to last until supplies last, is what I've been told. So I don't know how long that will be. But if you've been thinking about it, hop on it now. This is a huge special. It never goes on sale like this. And you can get it at naturallyinspiredstore.com. If you have any questions about collagen, just head on over and text me, 720-303-8868. Collagen, buy one, get one. Special Naturally Inspired Store. I just had a brain blank there for a minute. Yes, that does happen to me from time to time. I'm just like, what am I talking about right now? What is going on? Anyway, because I'm still thinking about the things that Owen Benjamin was talking about. And it's a really important topic. Content creators. So I was thinking this, okay? So when you have a script as a content creator, right? You know what your marching orders are every day. You know you're a part of a team. And if you see these, and it's right wing, it's left wing, they're part of a team. And you see them kind of, encouraging each other and sticking together. And the reason why this is what's going on with Candace Owens right now is so explosive is because, we've got somebody that's not staying in lockstep on our team. And here's the thing, everybody. The audience, you and me, we have to be ready to handle real content. And I saw that, when Candace Owens met with Erica Kirk, and, she's getting 8 million views, and everyone's like, yeah, they're jumping on the Candace train. Like, yeah, what about this? What about that? Right. And everybody's like getting really, bonded through this common identity that Candace is kind of leading up, where this is what we believe now. We're fractioning off from the right, and this is what we believe. And then when she came back and said, listen, I got some answers to some of this stuff, it was a really productive conversation. And I got a lot of answers, and she was positive about it. A lot of the people that were watching and in the comments then were getting mad. Oh, you turned on us. You flipped on us. No, she's conducting a real investigation. She got new information, and she's relaying you that information. But there's this urge to, that's not where we were going as a tribe. This is conflicting information to where we were going as a tribe mentally. And so we have to be really careful about that as an audience, as a population, as the citizenry of this country. We cannot get wrapped up in these teams, these tribes. We can't. Like, yes, we can identify our values as individuals, and we should. What are your values as an individual? Okay, now when it comes to voting, we should be voting with the people who align with our values and belief systems the best. And that's what we have. That's the decision we should be making. It's not about, I always vote left or I always vote right. Like, this isn't creating unity in the citizenry. And the citizenry needs unity for us to wield our power. It's us against them, right? Like, they work for us. Politicians work for us. They aren't movie stars. They aren't anointed people. They aren't lords. They aren't gods. They aren't, they're just normal people who are trying to advance their own agenda and wealth and power and success. And they're using politics to do that. Now, that doesn't mean you can't like them. Okay. But let's look at this for what it is. These people are very detached from who we are. They're very detached. And even the people that have become famous for being talking heads on the right or on the left, they are famous for representing their team, right? So the reason why they do it that way is because it works. It works. All the right-wing people turn into the Fox station. All the left-wing people turn into CNN. But neither of those sides are really the truth. They're not really the truth. It's a version, it's an agenda, it's an algorithm, like Owen Benjamin just described there. You can tune into to somebody this every day and you know exactly what they're going to say because that's their algorithm. That's their script. That's the torch they're carrying. And they're a team. A lot of these commentators, they're a team. They're trying to get so-and-so elected. They've already picked their next president, J.D. Vance. I don't even have an opinion on J.D. Vance. I always just think, who is this guy? Where'd he come from? Right? And I'm a little concerned about his ties to Peter Thiel, right? Like, don't know if I want somebody like Peter Thiel, constructing the digital grid, right? The enslavement grid their surveillance grid. And I know that, they have ties. So that's about all I know about J.D. Vance, but somebody has already, boink, anointed him the next one in the tribe, right? And if you're going to go outside of that, you're probably like not going to be welcome in the tribe, And that's what, as an audience, we have to be ready. Like, hey, I truly want to know what's going on in the world today. And I would like for a normal person with no agenda to talk about some ideas that maybe I haven't thought about. Now, I'm not going to agree with them all the time, but I like listening to this person because this person will challenge my ideas about what I think's going on. And that helps me to use my own discernment and come up with my own thinking about stuff. Like, we have to get reacquainted with critical thinking because we've been kind of numbed and just like, oh yeah, okay, that's what my favorite commentator says on Fox News, or yeah, that's what my favorite commentator says on CNN. Okay, that's the news. Well, Lord, we now know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we can't trust those commentators anymore. Because what happened with COVID? Oh my gosh, this like Rachel Maddow, right? Chris Cuomo, these people, hey, just take the vax and it's the disease stops with you. It stops transmission. What? What are you talking about? Product website says does not stop transmission. Like, if you're going to get your information from teams, then you better be prepared no matter what team you're on to understand that you're not getting the whole truth. You can't be. They're running off an algorithm. They're running off a script. And so I totally identify with what Owen's saying there. Like, yeah, I can't plug into a lot of these people anymore because I know the script. And that's a big part of why people are tuning in to Candace is because, we don't really know her script. And she just might be thinking about things on her own. And now, hear me. Real content creation doesn't mean you're going to get it right every time. She doesn't have a top-down formula here, that's telling her what to say. This is what she is processing. This is what she is coming up with. She doesn't have a team of hundreds, and she's not on a team where she can, be supported on the team agenda. And that's the risk we take as independent content creators. We do our very best to try to make sure, everything we say is validated and okay, it's here, it's there. Like, okay, yeah, this is what I know to be true. But I'm always saying, these are my thoughts about what's going on in the world. I'm not telling anybody what to think. I'm tired of people not having their own ideas about what's going on in the world. We have to start thinking again. This goes back to, with AI coming in, how important it is that we develop our higher faculties. Like, I sit there and I challenge myself to think about what else could be going on here. The official narrative says this. This person says that. This person says that. What else could be going on here? What else? Who would benefit from this? Because I am keenly aware that this is a game, high stakes game for money and power and prestige and legacy and all the rest of it. Okay? High stakes game. You have people on the left that are pushing one agenda because they're all invested in the climate cult and all the things that all the left stands for. Transgender surgeries, which is huge money, right? Transhumanism, which is huge money. All that stuff. They're into that. On this side, well, they're not exactly saying no to a lot of the technology stuff and the biotech. It's like, who's going to advance on the game board more? And that's why it's so important that we use our own critical thoughts to try to discern this game going on. The unity needs to be between you and me, not them. and us. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Welcome back. If you're dealing with issues like you need to lose weight, you have insulin resistance, digestive issues, pick your protocol at naturallyinspiredstore.com. We've curated some wonderful products, and those products all are free shipping with the full protocol. So go there today, naturallyinspiredstore.com. If you have any questions about a protocol, just text me, 720-303-8868. So I got a second part to this Owen Benjamin clip that I want you to hear. Again, he's kind of been through this, right? So when you've seen behind the curtain just a little bit, it becomes, much clearer on how this whole apparatus of influence and celebrity and politics all works. And so Owen's had that experience. And so when he talks about this, I'm a listening because it helps you understand what's really going on. Very interesting. So here's part 2 of this clip. Take a listen and a watch.
A product. It's like, it's not what you think it is. $100 million or $100,000, it isn't the difference you think it is. Now, being broke and not being able to pay for electric, that's a problem. But after you can kind of get your basic needs, it actually can become a liability because people around you can't trust. The money spot, in my opinion, is making between $75,000 and $300,000 a year. Nobody's going to use you and sue you for dumb shit, even though that still has happened to me, but for $300,000 a year. But after that, it starts getting. And then $75,000, you can be the sole provider of a full family of 4, no problem. You can for less. You just have to have a better network and be highly skilled. But after $300,000, it's a negative return, and you might not know that. It might even be lower, $200,000. It depends on where you live. So the whole freaking out about how much money someone makes, that doesn't mean anything. Unless you're making $20,000 a year and you have kids, or you're making, but as soon as you cross a certain threshold, you lose the reality of being normal. Rich guys don't live in normal reality. It's like being a hot girl. There's this great comedian who had this bit about what Vegas is like for a hot girl, how they don't even realize what Vegas is. They're like, oh, Vegas is great. You get free drinks. You get to go to all these great plays or great concerts. The rooms are all free. It's yeah, because guys are trying to have sex with you. It's like that for rich guys. Rich guys are like, oh, there's nothing going on in America. It's actually getting cheaper. What the fuck are you talking about? That's why I was making fun of Trump's speech where he's like, it's 33% cheaper on everything. I'm like, there are people that might think that. Maybe private jets went down a little or something. But I'm telling you right now, it's not. It's getting more expensive.
You guys, yesterday, just Yesterday, I was out doing some stocking stuffer shopping, and I was in Target. And listen, like I always buy my kids socks and underwear for their stockings and stuff. And like a 6-pack of underwear at Target, and I think there was a 10-pack. A 10-pack was $33. Like, listen, like Jason was like, are you gonna keep talking about the price of everything the entire time we're in here? But you guys, I had sticker shock. Like for years, I have been buying underwear for my son's stocking, and like a 6-pack of like Hanes underwear or whatever. I don't know. I want to say like $14.99, $33, $33 for underwear. What are we doing here? Right? And so anyway, I'll say that he's right on the mark there. Okay. And I thought the same thing when I heard Trump talking the other day. I'll be honest with you. It kind of pissed me off. Because here he is bragging about, oh, this has come down. And yes, okay, gas has come down. I'll give you that recently, right? Gas has come down. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you very much. But like, have you looked at the cost of food? And I'm guessing he hasn't, right? Because I don't think that guy's probably ever shopped in a grocery store. And I mean, we're all born into our lives. I mean, I wouldn't want his life. It's not like a jealousy thing. Like, oh, you're so rich. Like, I'm happy for people when they're highly successful. Like that's wonderful. I'm a huge cheerleader for success. I love it. You go, you do that. But don't tell me that the things are getting cheaper, because they ain't, right? And we know that. The price of a house is not getting cheaper. Like it's out of health insurance is a complete and utter scam. And a lot of people waking up to that now. So I get what he's talking about when he says, it's interesting to me because there's a lot of people, I think, that want into this celebrity. They want into the political celebrity now. That's kind of the new Hollywood. They want in there. And I'm not sure why they want in there. I think it's kind of fronted in a cause. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna become an influencer under this kind of cause, right? But it's all to like get in to the political sphere and be an influencer, and let's face it, get money. It's about money, and the reason how you know that is because these people will say and do anything, right? I mean, they'll stay away from topics. If they're on Trump's payroll to be an influencer for Trump, they're not pointing out that Trump's never denounced the vaccine. They're not pointing out that, Jared Kushner has a huge deal to develop the Gaza Strip. They're not pointing out stuff like that. Okay, but same thing happens on the left, right? You have people who were getting paid and going to the White House and, being all flamboyant and crazy and stuff. And look at how cute and all that. They're making money off that. They're not going to criticize the fact that Biden can't string a sentence together. They just, nope, we're not looking at that, right? Because it's all about the agenda. It's all about the agenda. And I don't think most people know what they are getting themselves into. Because once you're locked into that payday, you're never going to have a critical thought of your own again. And if you do, you're going to be exiled from the gang. And not just exiled, but sued into oblivion, right? Like Candace Owens is experiencing. They weaponize the law back and forth with each other to a point where they ruin people's lives. And that anybody in the public eye, we've seen cancel culture, weaponized. And I'm sick of that too. I don't really know what Kevin Spacey did, but like this is a sad state of affairs now. I mean, Kevin Spacey, I, as far as I knew, and maybe I'm wrong with the story because I haven't really like looked into it lately, but like apparently he had a relationship with a younger man, or, I guess underage man when he was like pretty young himself though. And like all this stuff gets drudged back up and now Kevin Spacey's homeless. There should always be a road to redemption, and there's more to it. There's more to it because the left, some people on the left have done way worse than that. And they're celebrated. So it's like, what wouldn't he do? Or what did he know where he had to be just an actor, Kevin Spacey had to be exiled to the point of homelessness. There's more going on here, right? Like this is mafia type of organization. They will ruin you. And so here you are thinking, oh, I'm working my way up the influencer ladder and really the more money you make from these people, the more enslaved you are. And that's what Owen's talking about here. Like we are enslaving ourselves with this culture of success. And yeah, it's hard to build something yourself. Hello, I know that. Right? I've been doing this now 6 years and it has been very hard. Hardest thing I've ever done. So hard because I can't quit. I talk to people every day and I hear you and I feel your pain. Almost sometimes quite literally feel your pain. And this work that I do is so needed. I cannot quit. But I can't do social media. Like I can't even get on YouTube. So this has been an incredible struggle to do this. A lot of tears, a lot of heartache to do it. But I'm doing it and I'm totally independent. It's me and it's Jason. And that is it. And so whatever I say on here, it's likely because Jason and I had a conversation about it. It's a thought that I had. I want to make you feel less crazy. And I want to really help people, work their way through life and carve a life out for themselves. That's a great experience, full of vitality and happiness. And I truly believe it can be done, but not if your attention is being captured by the show that goes on. And your emotions are tied to the show and everything's tied to this show of left and right. Like, how is this really enriching your life? I'm going to go ahead and guess it's not. So why not spend that time on understanding yourself, right? Understanding these higher faculties that we might be able to access. Who knows, man? Maybe I can read your mind at some point. That's where I think we ought to spend our time. Looking to unite on our humanness as we enter into the digital age. We're going to need it. Enough with the distraction. I appreciate Owen Benjamin, his quirkiness, and his ability to rattle people. Stay tuned for your naturally inspired moment. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448 That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Welcome back. So, if you're ready to make some changes with your health, if you want better results, let me just tell you, like, I had a great day yesterday talking to you all. My schedule was packed, and I just love learning about your stories. And it's so fascinating to me because we're talking about this kind of like, transformation of politics into more of like celebrityism. Is celebrityism a word? I don't know if it is, but it is now. Anyway, so we're talking about this, and I'll just tell you, I've met a few celebrities. I've met a few people in this realm of podcasting and whatnot. I've put on some pretty big health events and flown out speakers to come in and talk to you all and stuff like that. And I've just had a little tiny peek behind the curtain of how things kind of run. And I just want you to know that you're way more interesting. That you are way more interesting. I have spent time with people like that, and I spend time with you every day, and your stories are more inspiring. They are way more interesting and way more relatable and way more authentic. So I don't know why we tend to fall into this celebrity worship. I just don't think they're worth it. They're on a team, they're taking money, they're doing a job. They're not really sticking their neck out for a whole lot most of the time. And so consider that when you're taking in information, right? Just consider that. Like, how is this funded? Now, because I know what it takes to fund something like a show like this, monetize a podcast, I'm always, when I'm looking at people's content, I'm like, how are they monetizing this? Because then you start to get a little bit more understanding of where they're coming from, right? Where they're coming from with their messaging and whatnot. Anyway, if you want to take control, I lost my train of thought there. If you want to it must be my excitement for Christmas or something. I'm kind of off today. So if you want to take control of your optimum health in the new year, work with me. You can do a free 30-minute assessment with me, and you can book it right there at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Sit down and have a little chat, and you tell me things that you're concerned about. And I offer some insights. Of course, I don't give medical advice, but I can offer some insights and connect you to some information so you can make more informed decisions about your own health. So you get a Tuesday night weekly wellness workshop with me. You get my text line, which you get priority access on just for being my customer. So once you become a customer, make a purchase with Naturally Inspired. Take advantage of the collagen. My goodness, I can't tell you what a good deal that is. That is such a great deal because I think it's like a $78 savings. You're getting 2 bottles of collagen for the price of 1. So just make a purchase that gets you into the community. You'll get my morning woe, which is my words of encouragement. You get access to my health text line. You get the weekly wellness workshop, 15% off. You get free shipping and flat rate shipping. Like, there's so many benefits to being in the community. So I would love to welcome you into it. You can get started, or if you have questions, text me 720-303-8868. And if you want to get started, just go to naturallyinspiredstore.com and make a purchase today. All right, blah, blah, blah. I feel a little discombobulated. I guess I'm just like getting excited about Christmas or something. But anyway, let's get to our naturally inspired moment. Oh, what a great topic, timely topic. What I want to talk about today is your nervous system. I am constantly working on my nervous system because I have realized that this is your superpower as a human being. Okay. And you may think, well, I think my nervous system is running pretty good or whatever. There's a few things that you can do to kind of gauge how your nervous system is, right? One thing you can do is like, how deep are you breathing? Right? Can you take a really deep breath? Because, working with some of the people in my community over the years, I've been taught that like most of us are breathing really shallow. And this is a result of being stuck in fight or flight chronically, and that tends to break down your nervous system. Another good indicator that you might need to be, first of all, let me just say this. Everybody needs to be working on their nervous system all the time. All the time. It's an ongoing journey, because the more you master your nervous system, the more you have the ability to respond the way you want to respond when you want to respond that way. Like, I don't want to use the word control because we ain't got control over anything, right? But when you have control of your nervous system, or when you have authority over your nervous system, you have so much more ability to respond to things, because you don't get all of the reaction that comes along when something makes you mad or something makes you sad or something makes you, even if you're happy or joyful or whatever, you have to be able to, be present in your physical body in a way where you can respond in strength, not from a place of like, oh, I don't want to, fear. So I'm always working on mastering my nervous system. And here are 5 benefits of mastering your nervous system, why you might want to consider it yourself. Number 1, you respond instead of react. When your nervous system is regulated, you pause before acting. This gives you choice instead of compulsion, especially in conflict, in stressful situations, or fear-based moments. Number 2, your body heals more efficiently. So a calm nervous system shifts you out of fight or flight and into rest and repair, where digestion, hormone balance, immune function, and tissue repair actually happen. Number 3, your thinking becomes clearer and more creative. Chronic stress narrows your perception. Regulation expands it, improving your focus, improving your intuition, improving your problem solving, and your decision making. Number 4, your emotions stabilize without suppression. Mastery doesn't mean numbing your emotions. It means feeling without being hijacked by like a giant adrenaline spike, right? This builds emotional resilience and reduces anxiety, panic, and fatigue and burnout. Number 5, you reclaim personal authority when you can regulate your internal state. External chaos loses its power. This is true self-leadership, the foundation of confidence, consistency, and true freedom in your physical body. Now, a lot of people might think, well, I don't think I have a problem with my nervous system. And I would present this challenge. You may not have a problem with it, but are you working on expanding it? Are you working on strengthening that? Because see what happens and I was talking to somebody about this today in an assessment, when we're 0 to 7 years old, right, our neural pathways are being formed. And this is the time in which we kind of form how we cope and respond to things. And, innately, we want to be liked. We want to belong. That's just the human condition. And so we learn very quickly to pick up on social cues. We learn how to get people to like us. We learn what we need to do to fit in. And this builds neural pathways in our brains. And when they're built that early, it's very hard to understand that that's a neural pathway, a habit, a way of thinking, a way of behaving in order to fit in. We can't recognize them because they've been there so long. It's the only way we know. And so you may be able to recognize it in other people, but it's very hard to identify it yourself. So, you've all been around the joker, right? The person that, always has to make jokes and laugh and they're fun to be around, and it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad or good or anything. I'm saying it's a coping mechanism. They are driven to make other people laugh, and because that was their way of, people pleasing, being liked, and it feels good to them. Right? And like I said, that's a great thing. We're all lucky to have the jokers of the world and the funny people of the world. They make life a lot more pleasant, right? But it is a coping mechanism. And so there are other coping mechanisms that we use too. Like, are we the helper? Did we get approval from 0 to 7 by being the helper in the family? Because if we build those neural pathways that we're the helper in the family, when we become an adult, we want to fit in, we become the helper of everybody. Or maybe we were the strong one in the family, the one that shouldered all the burden while maybe mom fell apart or, dad was emotional or whatever. There was somebody in the family that played the role to smooth everything over. They were the strong one. And now when they identify in the world, 50 years later, they're shouldering everybody's problems because they're the strong one. These are the roles that we take on to cope as children, and they serve us as children. Sometimes they even keep us alive. So they're very important, but they may not be serving us now in our adulthood. They might be bringing us results that we're no longer happy with. And that's okay. Once you identify the role, then you can reprogram your nervous system to being comfortable not being the helpful one. Let somebody else be the helpful one this time. And we don't have to take that on our nervous system, like feeling guilty or feeling anxious or, feeling, like we're not doing what we should be doing, guilt, all these emotions come up, and that's what shakes our nervous system and triggers our fight or flight. So if we can step into a different role, that expands our nervous system. And all of a sudden we're more comfortable in our own skin, and we don't mind taking a pause before we commit to something. We don't mind taking a pause before we, go straight to that old familiar pattern where we're comfortable to cope with a situation. And that's another way that you can retrain your nervous system, is you can put yourself in situations and just don't do the thing. Right? Don't commit to helping. Don't be the strong one in that situation. Don't be the joker in that situation. Let the uncomfortableness ride. Guess what? You won't die. You won't die. You may feel uncomfortable. You may have a strong urge to do this or that in order to, get comfortable again. But the more you press yourself to be a little bit more uncomfortable, the more authority you get over your nervous system. And let me tell you, the key here is to have all the authority over your nervous system, because then you can really, truly step into who you are meant to be in your full expression with all creativity. It's pretty awesome. So take that challenge, work on your nervous system today. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. Stay tuned for the second hour. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, Dive into long-form podcast conversations and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back to Naturally Inspired Radio. So glad you are joining me this morning. If you missed the first hour, I'll just recap for you real quick. You'll have to go back and listen to it. We're talking just about, kind of the scripted world that we're living in with the influencers and the new Hollywood, which is like now politics, right? Politics seems to be kind of the new celebrity that everybody wants to get in on, and just using discernment, right? Like how important it is that we maintain individuality. We have to maintain individuality. It's American culture. individuality is American culture. And we're seeing that splintering within the right now with people like Tucker kind of, doing his own thinking, Candace doing her own thinking. There's other people that are just, a handful of people that are kind of splintering off and doing different things. And the team ain't liking it. Right? The team, they're not liking it. They don't like it that you're splintering off. They want to get you back in line because and Owen Benjamin, I played a couple of clips from Owen Benjamin. I think he put it just perfectly where he's like, people are tuning in to people like Candace now because it's not scripted. We don't know what she's going to say. And that's exciting to our brains. Instead of living in an echo chamber where we hear the same thing, we know where to tune in to hear that. If you want to hear conservative talking points, tune into Fox News. You know where you can get it. And you should from time to time. Check in there. Check in these places. But don't let it be your thought. Don't let your critical thinking stop there. Right? We have to continually work on our own thinking and ability to think and make sure that we are not getting sucked in to some kind of weird algorithm and giving our consciousness over to these parties, these teams, because they might not have our best interest in mind. I think we probably know whose interests they put first, right? Not necessarily yours and mine. They don't even know that underwear at Target right now costs $33. Okay, I'm sure they don't. Anyway, I want to shout out and say thank you to Diane, Stacy, Janice, Dana, Brian, Jason, and Kathy for becoming a part of the Naturally Inspired community. Welcome. And I want to personally thank you for your purchases and supporting Naturally Inspired, because this is where we are trying to change the medical model. We are trying to get real solutions for health into accessible to everybody. That's how we're going to change the culture in our country, especially when it comes to health. So thank you so much for supporting us. If you would like to do a free 30-minute assessment with me, sit down, have a little chat. I'll be upfront. It might take longer than 30 minutes. I've been going over. You guys are all very interesting people. So if you'd like to do that, though, go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. You can book an assessment there. If you'd like to make a purchase and take advantage of the buy one, get one deals, we have over 30 products right now that are buy one, get one free. So just go to Naturally Inspired Store. You'll see the deals right there at the top of the page there. You can view the flip book there where it shows you over 30 different products. I mean, we have the Uplift. We have the Uplift and the collagen are two of my favorite products, but we also have aloe vera. We have phyto greens. We have a number of different great wellness products that you want to take advantage of those deals, those buy one, get one free. So head on over there to naturallyinspiredstore.com. All right. I want to spend a little bit of time on the American moment. I've been doing this recently because there's a lot of people out there trying to convince you into thinking that you don't have a culture. You're American. You don't got no culture. You're just a culture of a mishmash of a bunch of immigrants. Not really. Not really. America, you have your own culture. It is amazing. It is awesome. It has some of the most inspiring principles about it. And every day when I sit down to do this research to bring you some more information about your own culture, I get inspired. So today I want to talk to you about hard Christmases. Did you know that Americans have been through some extremely hard Christmases? So they aren't all Rockefeller tree lighting, right? They aren't all, Santa, and they aren't all just these, gift openings and perfection. That's part of the American culture. But as you know, America's been through some hard times. And so I found it really interesting that there are some well-documented American Christmas perseverance stories. And these are all factual. And so here's the first one, the Christmas truce letters. Have you heard about this? So American World War I soldiers in 1917 and 1918, while the famous Christmas truce is often associated with British and German troops, in 1914, American soldiers in World War I later wrote letters home describing how Christmas in the trenches was marked by sharing rations, singing hymns, and quiet ceasefires. Soldiers endured freezing temperatures, disease, and constant shelling. Many described Christmas as the moment that kept them human. Letters emphasized that there was faith, resolve, and the determination to return home and rebuild. So holding moral clarity and humanity under extreme pressure, our soldiers did during Christmas, and that was called the truce letters. In 1914 and 1915, there was a flood in Ohio and Indiana, and it was catastrophic flooding along the Ohio River Valley, and thousands of Americans were displaced right before Christmas. Families lost their homes, they lost livestock and food stores. Churches and neighbors organized community kitchens and shelter. And so newspapers documented families celebrating Christmas with donated bread, apples, and handmade gifts to support people who had lost their homes and their livelihoods. Community resilience and mutual aid without government systems. That's the power of this incredible trait of perseverance that America possesses. When you start looking into like what does define American culture, perseverance is very high on the charts when it comes to Americans. Like we're known for this. This is how we do things around here, right? This is our culture. We don't give up. We don't give up. Clara Barton and Christmas Relief, so post-Civil War America, Clara Barton, which is the founder of the American Red Cross. We can go down that rabbit hole if you want to. I've been there. Anyway, we won't today because we're celebrating perseverance for Christmas. But don't give to the Red Cross. Organized winter relief distributions. This is what she did during post-war years when widows, orphans, and the wounded veterans faced starvation during Christmas. They put together a little team of people that went out and delivered food, blankets, and medical supplies. And many relief efforts occurred during the Christmas weeks, and they emphasized on dignity, not charity. So they really had a mission to make sure people didn't feel like they were getting handouts, but a hand up. And compassion as a national strength is what is threaded through the fabric of America. In the Great Depression Christmases in the 1930s, thousands of firsthand accounts describe how families celebrating Christmas without money, what they did. So children received handmade gifts, meals made from beans, cornbread, and donated meat, parents hiding hardship to preserve the joy of children. There are many documented accounts and stories and oral histories about what parents did to, I bet there was a lot of kids that didn't even know what was going on. And that's very American. Other cultures, they send their kids out to work. The kids are required to work. And I'm not saying Americans didn't require their kids to work, but it was important to Americans to make sure that their children still had happy childhoods. And hope and family cohesion during economic collapse was very high priority in America. What else do we got here? In the 1950s and 60s, farm foreclosure Christmases. So across the Midwest and the Great Plains, families facing foreclosure during winter and including Christmas. This is what the communities did. They held community auctions. So neighbors would bid pennies to return livestock and equipment to the families that were losing them during these foreclosure times of the 1950s and 60s. They would do whatever they could as a community to make sure that whatever was being auctioned off during these foreclosures went right back to the families that were losing them. So this was a bit of a racket that they were doing as a community, and it prevented displacement during Christmas. And these events are well documented in rural newspapers. Again, the theme of perseverance in America, local solidarity over institutional power. First responders, Christmas in 2001. After 9/11, firefighters, police, and families of victims marked Christmas just months after the attacks, and memorial services were being held nationwide. Many responders returned to duty on Christmas Day. Churches and communities supported others grieving and grieving families. This is, again, a theme of perseverance, even in their own hardship. They made sacrifices, and they were called to service and national unity through grief at Christmas time. Americans are known for perseverance even in hard times. So I thought that was valuable to bring to you today, because I know there are many people out there that are having a tough Christmas this Christmas. And I wanted to reassure you that you're in the right place. This is the country of perseverance. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
So here's what you do. You head on over here to naturalinspiredstore.com. There's this little tab in the left-hand corner. It says December deals. And you take it, this is this beautiful little flip book that Jason created. He's so good at this stuff. I couldn't do this to save my life, probably, because you know me, I'm the analog girl living in the digital world. So this is not my thing. Thank goodness he knows how to do this stuff. So anyway, he created this little flip book. It says huge holiday savings. When you click on the arrow, shows you my favorite liquid collagen right there. Buy one, get one free. Next one, oh, here's some whey protein in a pinch. In a pinch. It's good to have some protein shakes on hand. And then, oh, this is one of my favorites, the rest and rewind. If you have not tried this, you need to. If you have trouble sleeping, 5-HTP, some lemon balm. Ooh, yeah. That is not something that knocks you out either. It's a really even keel that gets you restful sleep. So that's buy one, get one. And it tastes great. It's a hot tea that you have before bed if you've been having trouble sleeping. And it's buy one, get one right now. So scoop that up. It's awesome. Also, digestive enzymes. We were talking about enzymes the other day and how important those are for digestion. So those are 2 for 1. That's an awesome deal. Even clean dishwasher gel. I love this stuff. I just stocked up on this. I bought a ton of this stuff because why not? It's so cheap. Only $13.99 for 2. Buy one, get one dishwasher gel that's natural. It's not poison. It's not your poison. So get some of those today and many more. We've got super antioxidants. Uplift Your Mood is a wonderful one. Full Focused Energy Drink. Full Focused Energy in pink lemonade, which is a different flavor. Liquid Minerals, delicious greens, and so much more. Over 30 products here. Buy one, get one free. Listen, you all are buying this stuff anyway. When I talk to you, you're like, oh, I got some of that. I got some of this. I'm like, oh my goodness. It's very easy to, buy these wellness products and, we're taking all this stuff. And when I sit down and talk to people, I'm like, listen, let's have a plan, let's have a plan for what we want to buy. But we're all buying this stuff because we're onto it. Lifestyle matters, right? What we put into our body, these are tools. These are non-toxic tools that create optimum health in our body. That's what they are. And so we know this now. Many people, over 76% of people are buying wellness products now. So, and I mean, let me tell you, I got truck drivers on my collagen. Some of these guys that listen to my show, found me on radio or what have you. They're like, yeah, my back hurts. We do assessments. And I'm like, yeah, get on the collagen. So, a lot of people think collagen's just for like aesthetic, right? It's for your skin. It's for your hair, your nails. No, it's for your gut. It's for your connective tissue. It's for your fascia. It's for your muscles. So, I mean, yeah. And this is for everybody. So take advantage. Buy one, get one free. Over 30 products at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Okay, let's get into some stories because there's some stuff going on in health in the news. The NIH, they be cutting some monies. And I want to tell you what I think about it. So let's listen to this clip.
Is doing or was doing or has been doing, and that's fine, because one day I will go to a doctor and they will say you have this condition and they will prescribe some course of treatment to me or some medication, and I had no idea where the research came from, and I think that's fine. I think that's the way it should work.
And that is the way it works. A recent study suggested of the 356 drugs that were approved by FDA between 2012 and 2019, 354 of them were based upon NIH research.
Wow.
So if you go to your medicine cabinet and take out a pill that you think you need for heart disease or diabetes or whatever, that's how it happened. This has been the foundation of the fact that America has led the world in biomedical research now for decades. And yet that right now is being seriously undercut by decisions that have resulted in a lot of grants not getting funded and some others that were already underway being stopped midway, including clinical trials. This is
Okay, so a little familiar cast of characters there. They're beating the same drum as they did during COVID, though, right? So, this guy, who's this guy? Come on, man. Who is this guy in the middle with the glasses? He's all, yeah, I just go and I don't care. I don't need, that's the way I like it. I like not knowing anything about the research. I like not knowing anything about the products because I'm an idiot. Who was it that did that during COVID? Was it Lori Lightfoot or whatever, where she's like, when I get my chemotherapy, I don't ask what's going in my arm. I just stick out my arm and I just take the medicine. Remember that? Where they're telling you, don't do your research. You don't know. You're not a doctor. Don't look it up. Do you remember when they were telling us that? They didn't want you to look it up because if you'd gone to the website, you would have seen that thing never had any trials on it about stopping transmission. You would have seen that you really didn't need it. You would have seen the truth behind it. So they're telling you, don't do your research. Just stick out your arm and... So the other thing that they're not talking about here, so gaslighting number one, right? I mean, that's just what that is. You don't need to do any research about this. I just, the NIH needs your tax dollars, rather. They need your tax dollars so that they can fund the research, so they can bring you more drugs. They're not understand science, right? Science. they're not looking for remedy in terms of root cause of what's going on with your health. They're not looking for remedy in the form of like, why is this happening to people? You know, why? We've got to get to root cause. No, that's not what they're spending your money on. Okay? Because there's no money in that. There's no money in root cause, people, right? Because guess what? 97+% of all chronic disease in people comes from lifestyle habits. It comes from the food you're putting in your mouth. It comes from the lack of minerals and the over-toxified environment that we live in. Not to mention that medical error is the third leading cause of death. And yes, it is. You can look it up on the BMJ journals. Okay. Oh man, when that journal came out many years ago, that medical intervention was the third leading cause of death. Oh man. You know, the allopathic doctors lost their mind. How could you say this is misinterpreted data, blah, blah, blah. No, it isn't actually. If you factor in, think about it. Think about it. How many people do you know that have died of accidental overdose? Because I know like 5. Yeah, like I can think of just like 5. There was a young girl, young mother who was prescribed medication for something and for actually dental work. And she was already taking a medication. And this is like a friend of my mom's way back, like years and years ago, who she fell asleep in the recliner and never woke up. And it was traced back to counter-indicated drugs. That's one person. Another person I know was on opiates for knee pain and knee surgery. She went to bed one night and didn't wake up. Another person was a tenant of ours one time, and she went to sleep on the couch one day and didn't wake up. 30 years old. Another person we knew, same kind of thing, young, dealing with pain on polypharmacy. These are just my stories. You know, so, and also, you know, a lot of these surgeries and whatnot that get performed, unnecessary. And many times they don't work. Not saying all, okay, but a lot of times they don't work. So I can see, all I'm saying is I can see how medical error became the third leading cause of death. I can see it. I talk to people every day about it. You know, so yeah. Is very real, right? So anyway, the NIH gets your tax dollar monies not to find remedy, real root cause remedy, but to produce products for big pharma. And here's what they're not talking about at all here, is this little piece of legislation called the Bayh-Dole Act. Now, the Bayh-Dole Act is a tricky little piece of legislation because what it did is it's all around patent rights. And this little act, it allowed researchers, discoverers, right? Researchers, scientists, you know, your science. It allowed them to collect royalties. So even though the research was funded by your tax dollars, this little piece of legislation allows them to collect royalties on that research for life. So like, you know, you and I, if we want to start a business, we got an idea, we want to invent something. Who funds it? Can you get some tax dollars for that? Not really. Right? Not unless you're in with the in crowd and you got a tech bro that can get you a government grant, right? But no, regular people usually have to fund their own business ideas, but not if you work for the government, right? If you work for the government, tax dollars can fund your research and you as an individual can collect royalties off that for the rest of your life. And many of these royalties that they collect, I might add, are willable. So you can will them to your heirs. So this can go on forever, right? Forever. And it does. And it does. So when you say, oh, well, why would they do that? You know, that's why. That's why, because they are securing legacy in some of these discoveries and these patents. They are securing legacy for their families. Now, I interviewed many people during COVID and beyond. I've interviewed hundreds of people now. And one of my interviews, which I always reference, and I played it the other day on my channel, was David Rasnick, because he really opened my eyes to how science works. And he, in his words, told me, listen, scientists aren't supposed to develop products. They are supposed to do the science. They are supposed to test hypotheses. They aren't supposed to develop products. Technicians develop products, not scientists. And that is where we have lost the thread in this country. We have made it patentable through our tax dollars to fund research. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
I'm telling you, it's all about power, prestige, patents. That guy there, Francis Collins, you just saw in the last clip. So he's just a scientist, right? Just a regular guy, just a scientist. His approximate net worth, and this is approximate, is somewhere between $5 and $25 million. How do you suppose, they get up to that type of money? As NIH director, he earned roughly $300,000 a year. That doesn't seem like a lot of money. How do you get to be worth, somewhere between 5 and 25 million, which is a huge range, right? I'm sure it's not fully disclosed, and that's why. Because under the Bayh-Dole Act, institutions like universities, NIH-affiliated bodies, private partners can hold patents from federally funded research, which is where institutional wealth, not personal, often accumulates, right? So they have their little ways, right? They have their little ways of being able to earn profits by patents. And that's a real concern, I feel like, because, again, science is motivated to create products to do that. And that's what they do. That's what they do. So anyway, what else do I want to say about that? Well, let's move on, because I think you get the picture here from the NIH. A lot of these guys are incentivized, to develop products, and really it's not their job. They should be looking to solve hypotheses. Next up in the news, this is an interesting story. Not the best news, that's for sure. But I do want to bring it to your attention. Maybe you've heard, I've covered it before. There's a website called How Bad Is My Batch? Well, I keep bringing it up because it seems like everybody's forgetting about it. That this bioweapon, this mRNA injection that was forced upon so many people, it was all a lie. It was all a lie. And this information that, keeps trickling out now is really the same information we had 4 years ago. It's just different people saying it now, right? Different people are saying it now. So I wanted to share this little clip with you from a recent McCullough Foundation podcast. It's from Nicholas Hulscher, who is an epidemiologist. Take a listen.
There's now 4 studies that show lot variability, significant lot variability. We're actually, the early 2021 batches were actually the most dangerous, it appeared. And yes, some lots are linked to large numbers of adverse events. Some lots are linked to no adverse events really at all. And they're basically batches called duds, right? Probably the mRNA is degraded, or it's been left out of the refrigerator for too long, or the manufacturing process was a bust and it wasn't manufactured properly, thankfully, right, for those individuals.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of these batches, they just decimated people, and they're probably contaminated with high levels of DNA plasmids from the manufacturing process, extremely high levels of mRNA, even heavy metal contamination has been detected in these batches. So all sorts of things. But yeah, really no batch appeared to be.
And, you know, a lot of this information was coming out, like I said, a long time ago. I learned from Judy Mikovits years ago that this is actually standard operating procedure when they're launching a novel product, is that they have different batches and lot numbers so they can see what's performing better, you know, in the masses. And then they can eventually decide on that best formula. So it's not uncommon to do this. And then we had this added component, of course, of the mRNA technology. It wasn't being stored properly. I mean, I could have called that, you know, drive-through vaccination sites. Like, come on. And literally, if you could fog a mirror, you could inject somebody, because they just wanted everybody injected with this, right? So they were calling on everybody and anybody who could possibly be certified to be able to stab you with a needle. There were drive-through vaccination sites in my tiny town. I mean, I could have called that, you know? I thought it very odd, like, oh, this thing has to be refrigerated, and here it is just like, you know, in the drive-through. So I don't know. But I do have a couple of still screenshots here for you from Nicholas Hulscher's X account. He's putting out some great information, bringing the receipts. So science, public health policy, batch-dependent safety. This is the Pfizer mRNA COVID-19 vaccine in the United States. So by lot size, you can see the clusters of injury relationship between Pfizer BioNTech vaccination doses and suspected adverse events. So all the different batches. Again, there was been a website set up for quite some time. How bad is my batch, I believe, is the website. Since batch-dependent safety of COVID-19 mRNA injections has been demonstrated, checking your batch can be a useful tool to help predict possible long-term adverse events. And then he's got another slide here too that he posted, batch-dependent safety of COVID-19 vaccines. So, you know, globally, we're seeing this. So your lot matters, your lot number matters. And I don't know, you know, for some people that may bring you peace. You know, I talked to somebody a few weeks back, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was reminded just, you know, it was very devastating for some parents of adult children when they found out that their adult children had taken these injections and had to for their job or for whatever reason. And it's a lot of worry. You know, it's a lot of worry. So maybe that'll bring you some peace, just understanding that, you know, there's a probability that perhaps they got a dud, you know? And if they haven't had any side effects by now, I think it's Peter McCullough said that, you know, if you haven't had any side effects by now, and this was like a couple years ago, you probably got a dud. So, you know, maybe all those prayers worked, you know? I like to think that they did. Anyway, also, let's move on to another story that I wanted to cover today. Alabama farmer has Parkinson's. He's among thousands who say weed killer is to blame. This is the headline here from today. Well, yeah, paraquat, been covering that now for years. This is another toxic herbicide that many American farmers were led into believing that this was perfectly safe. And of course, we've since found out now that it can be tied to diseases like Parkinson's. And so now there are actually thousands of farmers that are suffering from Parkinson's, and it can be traced back to this herbicide paraquat. So, again, these people telling you something, right? Oh, this is safe and effective. This is safe and effective. And it's not, right? It turns out that it's not. Turns out that this is actually a major problem. And it's been very hurtful, harmful to thousands of farmers now. So I believe it's banned, or it's about to get banned here in America now. But, it's been banned in other countries for way longer. And this is why when I hear Bobby Kennedy say something like, I don't want to be the one to tell you what to do with your health. And I say this, they're begging you to take personal responsibility back. They're begging you to take their power back because the institutions are captured. They're captured through legal contract, through, pay to play promising, whatever it is. Okay. We can speculate on all the ways that these agencies are captured, but the point is they are captured. So you cannot rely on them to tell you what to do blind. You can't just blindly rely on them to tell you what to do. And I feel like that message is like coming out of these guys all the time. People like Marty McCary and Bobby Kennedy, they're like, I don't want to be the one to tell you what to do. That's between you and your doctor. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, and so that's why I bring up these stories all the time, because listen, these people are not, and these agencies, these entities, whatever, they are not trustworthy. And I think another chip that's going to fall, and it pains me to even say this, but because it's so gross and predatory, but another chip that I think is going to fall is Botox or Botox or, injections for face filler and stuff. Yeah, I'm really concerned about some of the research that's coming out with that. And how it correlates to certain neurological diseases. Very concerned about that because I know, that's the thing about these products, right? They're very predatory because all these innocent bystanders out here, right? We just want to feel better. We want to look better. And it's all coming from insecurity. The insecurity that we're not enough. You're not enough with your wrinkles. You're not enough with your aging body. You're not enough. You're not enough. You're not enough. And that's what the messaging is. And we're all exposed to that and have been exposed to that for decades. So then we start to believe it. We're not enough. We need to do this. I'd like to look younger. I'd like to feel better about myself. And what they're not telling you is the dangers behind those things. And the fact that a lot of the dangers aren't even studied because the studies are funded by the product makers. Yeah. Did you know that? Yeah. They have to fund their own studies. So they are paying for their own studies. Do you think they're going to pay for studies that paint their products in a negative light? Of course they're not. So it takes sometimes decades for us to see the patterns and to realize that many people are harmed by these products. It's all very predatory. I don't like it. Stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Welcome back. Take a visit over to naturallyinspiredstore.com. Take advantage of the buy one, get one deals that we have going on right now. Of course, the immune collagen is probably my favorite, greatest deal on there. Scoop that up. Don't wait because it's only on for as long as supplies last. Some of the other premier products that I have on there is the Uplift. I love the Uplift because actually for our health topic today, we are talking about cortisol. And a wonderful thing to do for cortisol is to supplement with adaptogens. And of course, the Uplift is full of adaptogens in there. So grab yourself some Uplift, buy one, get one free right now. It is a wonderful deal. And let's dive into our health topic because I want to talk about cortisol. I guess I don't go on TikTok. It hurts my brain. I mean, I just, my sister sends me stuff on TikTok because she's like on TikTok a lot, and I'll watch the stuff she sends me, but like I can't sit there on TikTok. It hurts my brain. This is my analog issue once again surfacing. It just hurts my brain. Anyway, but I guess because through talking with you quite a bit, I saw that on TikTok. So I guess there's like a lot of info about cortisol out there on TikTok. Like you need this cortisol drink or you need this, cortisol elixir or whatever. Okay. But also understand what cortisol is. Okay. What it does. Cause it's not like we tend to want a silver bullet. Like I'm going to fix my cortisol. I'm going to fix my estrogen. I'm going to fix my insulin. Like, you can't really do that. You got to fix it all. But the good thing is you can fix it all with lifestyle changes. It will all kind of just like calm down and even out, So it's only like one variable when you're focusing on that one thing and you're medicating for it, I'm going to get me some estrogen because I'm low on estrogen. Well, it doesn't really work that way. Your body doesn't really work that way. Okay, so let's get into the cortisol stuff. 7 symptoms of high cortisol, which is chronic stress hormone overload. Number 1, stubborn belly fat, right? Stubborn belly fat is a sign of high cortisol. But why do you have high cortisol? Probably because you have insulin resistance. See what I'm getting at here? So cortisol signals fat storage, particularly visceral fat, even when calories are controlled. So you get that abundance of cortisol. You've got other things going on, probably a drop in testosterone or drop in estrogen as well. And just like sarcopenia in general, which is the muscle mass loss that happens as we get older. If you're not actively eating for protein in a protein-focused diet and you're not building muscle, well, this is what happens. And especially if we have chronic, situations in our life with high stress. Okay. So that's a sign that, okay, my hormones are out of balance, but keep in mind, we have the same remedy here. So it doesn't need to be this complicated. Okay. So stubborn belly fat. Okay. High cortisol. Number 2, constant fatigue, but a wired feeling. So, you're exhausted, yet you can't really relax. Maybe you find like you're like tense in your jaw, and then you're like purposefully like trying to relax, but you can't just like really like let go. That's chronic fight or flight syndrome. Okay. So you're exhausted, yet you can't relax. You can fall asleep or stay asleep. And this is classic tired, but wired. Okay. Number 3, anxiety, irritability, and emotional reactivity. High cortisol keeps the nervous system stuck in fight or flight, and it's lowering your emotional resilience. So something that, 10 years ago, you would have been like, forget them. No big deal. Now you're like, oh, blah, you just like, you're very reactive. That happens slowly, but it builds over time. Okay. So that's a sign that you're running high cortisol. Number 4, blood sugar swings and cravings. So do you have these like big crashes, right? Where cortisol raises glucose to fuel survival. Okay. And it often leads to these massive crashes. And of course, you have cravings in this cycle. And also, this is a part of insulin resistance as well. So fix your insulin resistance. You fix all this cortisol stuff as well. Poor sleep. So especially waking up between 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, like many of you are, cortisol should be lowest at night. And when it's high, sleep becomes shallow or fragmented. So you're releasing cortisol when you shouldn't be. Now, cortisol is not all bad. You need cortisol when you wake up in the morning to feel refreshed, to feel like, okay, let's get some energy and start the day. But when you're dumping cortisol like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, that's waking you up. And it's going into that mode of dumping cortisol because of the insulin resistance, because of the other hormones in your body as well. Digestive issues. So stress shuts down digestion. It just shuts it down. Okay, so if you're experiencing belching, bloating, reflux, like your belly's extended, constipation, or the opposite, loose stools or diarrhea, these are digestive issues that could be impacted from high cortisol levels. So carrying around a lot of emotional stuff can really impact digestive issues. So come up with a system, of being able to manage stress. Also, frequent illness or slow healing, right? You got a wound or something that just won't heal. This is often because you're dealing with insulin resistance, and then you have high levels of cortisol too. Cannot heal when you're in fight or flight. You cannot heal with this abundance of cortisol because the cortisol isn't concerned about you healing at that moment. Cortisol is so that you get your butt out of the way if a lion is chasing you, right? Cortisol is a stress hormone. It's meant to make you get up and get out of there. And it's not conducive with healing, right? It's not conducive with rest, relaxation, and healing. So we have to deal with that. Here's what you can do for high cortisol. Number 1, regulate your nervous system, right? This would be the first thing. So nasal breathing, right? The breathing is important. Like, pay attention. Are you breathing shallow? Can you hold a breath in for a long time? Can you inhale smoothly, or is it choppy? Take a deep breath in and just pay attention to how you're able to move air through your lungs. Because if it's choppy and it's shallow, this is a good indicator that you're running high stress. Okay? So you can implement breathing. Morning sunlight, which I always talk about, lowers cortisol. Limit constant stimulation, right? So this portal that we get sucked into, the scroll hole, it's not helping the stress hormone. Okay, you want to get rid of belly fat, you want to feel more energetic, you've got to build systems into your daily lifestyle. Number 2, stabilize blood sugar. Protein. I know I say it all the time. You're so sick of me saying it, but I can't. I just got to keep telling you. Protein, right? 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight. So healthy protein. Don't avoid, don't skip meals for there's a lot of people getting into this fasting thing of they're fasting 22 hours a day. And, maybe short term, that's a valuable tool, short term. But some people have been doing this now for years. And that is putting your body in starvation mode and creating a binge and deprivation cycle that even increases more cortisol in the body. Okay, which leads to all of these things that you don't want. So respond to your natural, urges to eat. Eat in a feasting window if you must. There's a lot of science now that suggests a 16-hour fast and an 8-hour eating window is the best thing to do. Any more than that, there's very little advancement from that. It's not that much more of an improvement. So don't punish yourself more than you have to. 8 hours of eating, healthy, balanced, high protein, healthy fat, voluminous plates of food. Okay? That'll stabilize blood sugar. Reduce refined carbohydrates just to get rid of them. They're killing you. Hate to be dramatic, but they ain't doing you any good in this scenario. So, maybe not forever, but dedicate yourself if you're going through something right now where you really need to restore your metabolic health. Get them out of your life for at least 90 days. And then you can revisit some of them from time to time. But the majority of the time, you want to be eating for your optimum health. You've got to fix your sleep. Consistent bedtime and wake up time. No screens 60 minutes before bed. Get a book. Get a book and read yourself to sleep instead of doom scrolling and getting sucked down the scroll hole. A dark and cool room that is conducive with good sleep. Train smart, not harder. Still a lot of people out there thinking they can cardio off and manage their weight being a cardio bunny. Getting on the treadmill and just running, getting tons of steps. And, I can't get this weight down. Doesn't matter how many miles I run, or you're abusing yourself at this point, and creating more cortisol. Training smart is building muscle. It's building muscle. You need muscle to mop up all that glucose and, help the body put that energy to use at the cellular level. You've got to build muscle, and instead of running, long time and do a couple sprints, sprinting 30 seconds, boom, bah, take off. That really charges up the metabolism. Making sure you're doing squats because that is a valuable exercise. There's so much benefit to squats when it comes to, again, mopping up the glucose and making sure that your body is putting the energy to good use. So train smart. It's not about training harder, doing more. It's about training smarter. Make it matter, which resistance training is key. Walking. If you want to run a little bit, that's great for your cardiovascular health. I got to run for my mental health. It helps me work things out. I get ideas and all kinds of stuff when I'm running. So that's why I run. I don't run to manage weight or even necessarily for my metabolic health. It's more of a cardiovascular benefit. It's good for cardiovascular, and it's good for mental, your mental health. A repetitive motion. That's what I like about it. Support with nutrients. So magnesium, I prefer our magnesium on our partnered product line. I love it. It's actually a magnesium drink. I have it every day. I like to take it hot. It's glycinate and a blend of magnesium. Reduce your hidden stressors, right? adaptogens, things like ashwagandha, right? That are helpful. Get yourself some uplift on the buy one, get free deal that's going on right now over at Naturally Inspired Store. That'll get you into the Naturally Inspired community. And we'd be so happy to have you. Thanks for joining me today. This has been Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be back tomorrow. See you then.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.